Hi there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy. We're going to do paper pumpkin today. I know if you watch my videos regularly, you know I said that I was going to show you my table mate gifts today, but then paper pumpkin came in the mail, and of course paper pumpkin comes and it's like squirrel, and that's all you focus on, at least me. So I'm going to show you what I did with my paper pumpkin kit. And it's kind of a mess in here. This was the stamp set, which is really cute. Let me find the instructions so you can see what the cards are supposed to look like. So the full instructions, which my paper pumpkin box is a mess. Maybe I should have cleaned it up before we started. Oh, well. So this is what the cards are supposed to look like, right? And all the pieces and parts are all in the box here that you make the cards with. It has the adhesive, the ink spot. Your first paper pumpkin comes with the block, and you get the stamp set. Like I said, that's what this one looks like this time. Usually, I follow the instructions pretty close. I try to do what's in there, but every now and then I get this idea, because right now I don't need a bunch of Easter cards. Easter cards isn't something that I send out a lot of, so I would consider these all Easter cards, and 9 of them might be a bit much for me, so I changed them up a little bit. Let me show you, and I haven't finished my whole kit. It's kind of, like I said, a mess here, but let me just put this back out. So this card here, I did make one of those. I thought that was a really cute card. Now I did exchange, or I replaced the card base. They used that yellow. I think that paper pumpkin card bases are a little, I'm going to say, flimsy. I'm kind of a cardstock snob, so I did change it out for this is Bubble Bath. I thought the Bubble Bath matched the colors that were on the card already, and so I took that card, which, look how cute that is. I have a cute Easter card. Okay, and then I thought, well, what if I didn't want Easter cards? So I took and stamped a happy birthday on the inside there. And I thought that this color here, the coordinating color was pecan pie. I like my sentiments usually in a darker color, so I stamped that in pecan pie too. But then I found out this was crumb cake. This I would say this is not my favorite card, but it's cute. It would work in a pinch. I would totally send that out for a happy birthday. So onward we go. This card here, really cute card. I just took the card base, cut it down to a card front, and then made the card exactly as is. Hello friend, or yeah, hello friend. If it didn't have the eggs here, maybe I put some flowers in that next time. That could totally be a birthday card too. And I do like sending a hello friend and then happy birthday on the inside, so that would be something I'll make again, probably leaving those eggs out of there, so then it's not an Easter card. And then I thought, well, what are you going to do with all those eggs? And if you take that little egg shape in the kit, I was trying to find one here, but maybe I won't be able to just show you. Dun, dun, dun. Where's my eggs? Okay, I give up. The eggs, when you turn them over, yeah, I won't find them. They look like a cloud. So I took, this is really these eggs here, and I flipped it over, and I stamped the Happy Easter in the cloud, and then I put that little Easter bunny there, because if I do more cards like this, I'm going to have bunnies left over instead of putting the bunny in that oval or that wreath. So look how cute. And then I just took those flowers and kind of covered it, because he's kind of got, he didn't have a half of a body. He only has the top half, not the bottom half. So then the little flowers kind of looks like he's hiding in the grass with the flowers. I thought that one turned out really cute too, and that's a way to use those eggs if you're like me and you're done with Easter cards. Okay, now we will have a few bunnies left over, but the next card, this is the one I want to show you, and I'm going to demonstrate for you. Oh, I should show you what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like this, and part of that stamp set is this Sweet Springs greeting. Now that's not my thing. I don't know what I would do with that. So I made it into a thinking of you, and look how cute that card is. Now there's other pieces and parts that you're supposed to use, and they're probably in here. You were supposed to stamp on a square and layer the square up. I thought, well, I'm not gonna take the time, I guess it is, to put, here's all my pieces. You're supposed to stamp on here and then layer this on there, and then you get those layers. You're supposed to use a bunch of these little flowers here. Now you saw that's what I used for this card, so you'll have a bunch of flowers left over if you do it my way. But let me get my pieces and parts, and I'll show you how I made this card, which I am in love with. Now this one, no, and you know what, we are going to use Balmy Blue. Let me see, I don't have a Balmy Blue, because I like the stamping in the Balmy Blue, so I need a card base of Balmy Blue. Let me grab one here real quick. And we're going to stick with the same color scheme that I had, just because I like the balmy blue. I think it matches this here. And then you bring the card base in and bada bing. Anyway, I rambled on. Let's continue. So let me cut my cardstock. I have a sheet here of balmy blue. The first thing I'm going to do is put the 8 1/2 at the top and put it at 4 1/4 and then score it. And then I'm going to turn it this way and put the 11" at the top. You can't even see what I'm doing, can you? And then put it at 5 1/2 and then cut it in half. And now, just like that, I just have 2, and that way I can finish my other card too. Okay, while we're at it, while we're trimming down, let's grab this card base here. So dig through my box, find this card base, and they're going to cut it down too. Now, because you could just cut it at 4 1/4, but then you don't have that border around there, right? And I want to keep this centered, so I'm going to turn it this way. The score line is to this side, right? There we go. And I'm going to cut it at 4 1/8. That's going to take care of that score line, right? And then turn it and then cut it at 4 inches, and then that keeps our square in here centered in our card. Hope that made sense. Then I'm going to do the same thing. This is 5 1/2, so I'm going to take an 1/8 off. So I'm going to cut it at 5 3/8 and then turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. And now this way, everything's still centered and it's a card layer rather than a card base. I can't seem to get that. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut this one, the other half of that, to 5 1/4. No, that was, no, beg your pardon, that's 4 1/4, 4 1/8. Ah, what are you doing, Kathy? I'm going to cut it at 4 1/8, and then 5 3/8. And let's see if I did I do that way? No, I didn't. Oh, well, we'll see if I use this piece or not. Or if I cut it, we'll see. I might cut this down again and make it like this one, or I have an idea in my head that we might do that one. We'll wait and see. Okay, let's fold this in half. Get my bone folder here, make a really nice crisp fold, and then I'm going to just layer this. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have to work on this piece first. So I'm going to take my Pierce mat here and my little pokey tool, and on these little dots here, on the stitching that's on here, can you see those? I'm going to poke a hole. I think, do I want my card? It doesn't matter. I'm going to just go on. So I'm going to start and poke a hole, and then I'm going to skip 2 little dots, and I'm going to poke another hole, and I'm going to go all the way around my little card, my little half, I guess, of my square here. Obviously, I can't poke and talk at the same time. But this is going to give me my little stitch line, so I can put the stitching on the card. I thought that turned out really cute. Now I want to make sure I have one at least close to the corner up here. And then I'm going to go on every 2. Whoop, that's this one. I don't think it has to be perfect. If you looked at my stitching, I just did the best I could. And I think it turned out, wait, hold on, I have to poke and not talk. Now here's tricky because I have 3 here. Well, no, I'll go 2 and then finish right there. Okay, now let's go along here. Now this one I'm going to just start in the corner. And skip 2, poke a hole, skip 2, poke a hole. I think this way, I can't talk and do this at the same time. This way it gives you a way to give your card some lift without a bunch of layers. And when I saw the stitching on there, we did this technique at the virtual card retreat and I really liked it. And so I thought, Shazam, this is what we should do to this card. Let's go right there. I don't know if that was right, but it's close enough. And then if we go here, here, and then we'll end right there. Looks pretty good. So far, it just likes a holy card. Okay, then we're going to just take a few inches. And I know I saw a piece of twine in here. Now, this came in the kit, too. This is what you were supposed to tie the bow for the bunny's little neck. Oh, we don't need this anymore. We can put that away. But I'm going to take this. And then at our retreat, we gave these little needle threaders. Now, I think these are for your teeth. I don't know, but can you see what these little things are? I'm going to use that as my needle. Let's see if this is long enough to go all the way. No, I don't think it's long enough. Let's get a longer piece. I don't want to run out in the middle. That would be terrible. And I don't remember how many inches it says that you can use on a card, but I have a feeling we have plenty. So I'm going to just kind of measure like this. Is this how you would measure it to make sure it's long enough? That looks good. Then I'll give it a little bit just for measure. I don't know. Okay. So we're going to thread this, get rid of that one, through our little, I call it needle threader, but this will work as our needle. And I'm going to start by going from the back to the front of my card and just poke that through. Oh man, there we go. My little hole. And then hold it there. And then we're going to stitch. Now this, I apologize, this might take a little minute or two, but I think it's totally worth it. Okay, so that thread doesn't come through. I'm going to just take a piece of Scotch tape and tape that down. Now that I think about it, I probably should have done one in advance so you don't have to watch me, but I didn't, so we'll have to have a chat. So let me tell you, as I'm sewing here, what's been going on. If you've been watching, you know my husband was in the hospital. He had his appendix removed on Saturday. And then he went back into the hospital on Sunday and didn't come home until Friday. So it has been, well, a little bit different around here. It's not our norm that I spend all day at the hospital. I did come home at night. I couldn't bring myself to sleep there. There was no need. And I tried to spend as much time there as I could with him, but we have our own business. I had to make sure that was going. Without your husband, you don't know how much he does until he's not here to do it, and trying to keep all the household together and stuff. But like I said, it was different responsibilities, and it was a crazy, crazy week here at the household. But we made it, and now he's out. He's back at work today. He seems to think he's going to go on his golfing trip on Sunday, but we will see if that happens. But I think he's feeling almost back to normal. And that was not what you want to spend your week doing, watching your husband suffer in the emergency room. All right, I know this is this is slow and tedious, but like I said, I think it's totally worth it. Let me get my little thread all the way around my card. Now when you come to the corner, make sure you go down in the corner. Oh, I guess it wouldn't matter either, because you could go up in the corner and then around. Oh, I just lost my thread from my needle thingy here. Does anybody know what these are? If Leisha Ray, when you watch my video, you'll have to comment and let me know what they are, because I think she said she used them for her teeth. But they work really well to sew on your card. It's easy to get the thread through the needle part. And I think it gives your card lots of texture, but not extra weight or extra thickness for when you're trying to mail them. All right, hang with me. Like I said, I wished I would have done one in advance, and that way I wouldn't have to sit here and sew on my video. I'll tell you a couple things that are going on with Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up right now has a join special, and you get the new stamp positioner for free when you join Stampin' Up. And when I say join Stampin' Up, that just means you buy the starter kit. You become a demonstrator like I am now. You have your preference. You can either just use your demonstratorship to get the discount, or you can do classes and you can do videos and stuff like this and kind of make it into a business like I have. Now, I did that out of kind of accident. I just started meeting with friends to show them what was so great about card making, and it turned into a, oh look, we have a mess back here. It turned into a business for me, and then after it turned into my social life, and now I look forward to spending time with you today here sewing, and with the people that come to my class, and some of them have been coming for years. There's some new ones, there's some that have been around a while, but that is my social time, spending time with my stamping friends at my classes. Other things that are going on with Stampin' Up! Is, believe it or not, the annual catalog is, it's time to think about all those things that you have on your wish list from the annual catalog, because pretty soon the annual catalog is going to retire. And then, oh, here's something I needed to tell you. Okay, so here's time out on my story. I cannot come up through here because I don't want to tie it. I don't want to tape it off in the front. I want to make sure I tape it in the back. So I've got to add, where did my PokéMat go? I've got to add, that's not a piercing net. There, this is the one with all the holes in it. A hole here so I can go down and then back up so the corner works out right. Okay, let's go back through this hole so I can go down through the corner. And I lost my string again. There, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll hold it up close. And then we're going to cover up the corner with a little leaf. Maybe not that one, but so it still looks okay. So see how it has to finish like that. Then I'm going to just go over to this one. There we go. And back on again. So the back looks like that, but the front looks like that. And I should have paid attention to that before, but like I said, I think it turned out just fine. Okay, back on to Stampin' Up! Stuff. So the annual catalog, when it goes away for the year, that means that the in colors that are the 2024 through 2026, I guess they would be. Maybe I don't have that right. In colors, a lot of which you see in this paper pumpkin kit are going to go away too. And the refills are usually the ones that sell out the quickest. So if you like those colors, cardstock, ink, ribbon, all of that, you know they won't be around much longer, which makes me sad because especially Pretty in Pink, which I think what color this is, that's one of my favorite colors right now, and that's going to be on the retired list with the annual catalog. Other things going on that in March, probably couple days from now, maybe tomorrow, we have the new online exclusives coming out. I gotta hold on to my string better. So if you like seeing stuff online, the online exclusives aren't in any catalog. I guess that's why they name them online exclusives. They'll be out tomorrow, I believe. And new kits. If you're into kits, every new kits, 2 new kits, I think, every month. So that's something else you'll want to check out if you're into kits, which, like the paper pumpkin kit, I love me a good kit because you don't have to plan anything. You just sit down and be creative. Okay, we're getting there. This is taking way longer than I had hoped. Like I said, if I was a good demonstrator, I would have done one of these ahead of time and you wouldn't have had to watch me. But, well, then you wouldn't have got my story. How exciting is that? This corner worked out just right. Too bad that other corner didn't work out that easy. So, Sandy, I see that you're watching, and I appreciate you being here. And anybody else that's watching, I can't keep track. I don't know how to keep track of how many's watching and who's watching, but I see, oh, and it's Cindy. I beg your pardon, Cindy, not Sandy. My bad. Maybe this isn't the best thing to use for this because it keeps falling out. My string keeps falling out of my little loop. But I don't know if well, I guess if you had a smaller needle, if you get your ribbon through, oh, well, it doesn't matter. This is what we're using. You got to use what you got, and I'll use what I got. We're so close. A few more. Okay, 2, 3 more, and let's see if that's going to go the right way. If we go down here, up there, and down there. Yeah, so down, up, and down, and we should be in at the right, so our string here ends on the back of our card and not on the front. We made it, well, almost, we almost made it in 2-3 seconds. We'll have made it all the way around. And look, he got a little loose here. I should have paid attention to that. Let's pull this. There we go. And stick this down, and yay! I'll put that loop in there after I put it in my cardstock. It's much easier. We made it all the way around our little card. Now that I've done that all the way around, I wonder if we should have stamped on our cardstock before, but I'm sure to be fine. I think that's how I did my first one, is I did all this and then I stamped on it. So we'll put this down this way. We'll cut off that little extra. And now look how cute, without that much bulk, it has a nice little, it has texture to your card, and it has lift to your card, and it just looks really good. Let me put this away so I don't lose it. We'll use that again. We have our pieces here. This piece will layer, look, it will layer right there because I cut it 5 1/4 by 3 5/8, and then we'll layer this on top of there. So let's go ahead and stamp on here. Now, I decided that I wanted a stamp set that had big, bold greetings on it, and I think that this Forever Florals, this is one of my favorite stamp sets, and the words on there, and I love that Thinking of You. So I'm going to take that stamp set, take out that Thinking of You, and we're actually going to use my positioning tool, because, does it matter which way our card goes? No, I don't think it does, because I want to stamp this in balmy blue, but I want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to stamp, you know, like we stamp off all the time to change our colors on our inks, but we're going to stamp on this time. So I'm going to line up, take my positioner here, which I do like the positioner. Now, I have the Stamparatus. I've never had a Misty, I don't think. I've had other that's the popular one, that's why I said that one. I've had other stamping positioning tools, and I like the other ones, and I like this one too. I think they all have some pros and cons to each of them, but this one has a lot of cons, or pros, not cons, pros. I like that the grid paper doesn't move because you can put it into these little pegs up here. I like the fact that this is open so your paper can go across and you can use large pieces of paper. I like the fact that when you put your positioning plate, this one's dirty, let me clean, there we go, onto here, you can see without it touching your paper already. I'll show you when I have the stamp on there. So there's a few things, and that might not make sense until you actually have it, but let me put my stamp here where I want it. Does that look good? That looks pretty good. Is it straight? It's hard to see because this stamp I have used over and over, and it is totally stained. But like I've said before, I love a stained stamp. That means you've been using it. So then you take your plate here and just go down and hold it, and then it pops up. Now let's try not to get that. Well, it doesn't matter if it moves a little bit because I can put it back into place. Those photopolymer stamps, as much as we love them, are sticky. Okay, let's see. Now this is what I was talking about. So I could lay it back down. Now it hasn't touched my paper, it's just sitting on top, and you can see if it's still in position where you want it, which it is. My paper didn't move that much. So now let's ink it up. And then we're going to flip it over, and then I'm going to stamp it down. Now here again, I can set it there. The ink hasn't touched the paper, so you can see, that's nice. That, is it where I want it? And yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just press and get that image on there. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to re-ink it. I'm going to ink it up again. Now, if you didn't have enough ink on there, you're trying to do a large image, that's the same thing this is. But since it's that fine line, and I do a couple coats of ink like this, let's see if it's still in a good place. Yes, it is. And then I ink it up again. My Balmy Blue is going to be a darker shade of Balmy Blue. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, shades of color, Paper Pumpkin is a really good sample of that. And dang it, I might have moved it just a hair, but it still looks really good. So now it's a darker shade of blue, of Balmy Blue, that is. And now we're going to take this and we're going to layer it onto that piece of white. And this is just the other side of the card base that we cut. So now I'll have to go dig and see if I have a piece of white for the inside, because I planned on putting this on the inside, but I think that because it's all flat, I need the extra layers to make it look like it has height. Did that make sense? And look, I put that on the wrong piece of cardstock. Good Lord, Kathy. Is it Monday? Maybe. We'll layer it like that. Now we'll put some, and then I put the green one down instead of the white one. Look, now it's going to be green on green. You know what? I'm going with it. This was supposed to be the white side. I might have to go back to bed today. I'm going to blame my husband being in the hospital all last week, and that's why I'm a mess. That's going to be my excuse of why it hasn't been the best video. Well, we'll see how it turns out like this. And then, do you see, I almost put it on upside down. Oh my gosh. Woohoo! Go, Kathy. Oh, I do like the layers of green on there. I think that looks pretty good too, though. Looky there. Maybe that was an accident made on purpose. No, I like the white. I liked it better this way. I think this way turned out better. Next time, that's what I'll do. But anyway, let's finish the card. I don't want to take it apart. I think it's going to be fine. I would still mail it out thinking of you. I'm going to grab a couple of those little leaves that are in the kit. And those little leaf parts, they go one direction and the other goes the other direction. And you get a lot of those in there. They look like this. Those are the same direction. There, that's the other direction. Two of them. I'm going to just use glue dots. Now you could use the glue dots in the kit, but sometimes the roll is a little bit quicker. And then this one, I'll just take this one. Put that right there. And then all we need is some of those embellishments that came in the kit. Let's see if I can find those. Maybe not. If I can't find them, then I'll go ahead and finish my card. I just really wanted to show you that sewing on a card because I think it's a really cool technique and a way to give your card dimension, but without all the bulk. I did find them though. Here they are. So let's just grab these pretty, I think they're just iridescent, and we'll just plop those right there, and right there, and right there. Alrighty, that's what I have for you today. I think that's all I can handle. I am a mess, and I'm going to go take a nap. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and I hope you see you back here next Monday, and I'll show you what I finally decided on for my table mate gifts for on stage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.